Um, Welcome. This is the Blood Drive Committee policy group for NSU. We're in the stages of determining determining how we're going to set up our policy for the next year. My name is Leslie. I am a hall manager for housing, and I run currently 4 of the residence halls. And I've been doing blood drives for 5 or 6 years. So, you go ahead.
I'm Leslie Gibson. I am new to the committee, and I'm an RA in South.
I'm Libby. I'm a medical nurse.
Oh, okay.
My name is Heather Knudsen, and I'm a member of the Blood Drive Committee. And I also work in Logan.
My name's Amanda Barnett. I am currently sick right now. I'm really sorry.
Stay away.
I'm an RA in high school.
Okay.
I'm Tammy Willis. I'm not part of the committee. I'm just sitting in. I'm the assistant director of residence life.
Advisor.
Advisor. Am I an advisor?
You're
You can
advising
shut
us.
the door.
No, Leslie is.
Oh.
I'm just.
What could we call it? We could give you a position title.
We'll think about it.
Person who sits in a corner.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
It's the position to be in.
And then I guess we'll go.
Okay, I'm Ryan Hardaway. I'm the director for the Red Cross in Muskogee. We serve the Muskogee, Cherokee, Adair, and North McIntosh counties.
I'm Veronica Tabor. I'm the supervisor of donor recruitment for the Southwest region. I've met a couple of you, I think, last time. Had longer hair, so you may not recognize me. But
And I'm April Inman. I am the donor recruitment representative for this area in Southern Oklahoma. And I graduated from NSU also, so exciting to be back. Yay.
You said for the South region?
Mhm.
okay, you guys ready to get started? Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
Alright.
So we have a PowerPoint, and since there's just a few and we're all next to each other, we can just maybe sit and discuss.
Yeah, would you like a folder also? I've got some snacks in it too.
So the Red Cross prevents and alleviates human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and generosity of donors. The Red Cross Biomedical Services will fulfill the need of the American people for the safest, most reliable, and cost-effective blood services through voluntary donations. Nearly everyone has a Red Cross story. It seems like kind of wherever we go, there's been someone that's been impacted. The Red Cross responds to about 70,000 disasters a year in the United States. The Red Cross provides blood and blood products to nearly 3,000 hospitals. The Red Cross trains about 10 million every year, enabling people to prevent, prepare for, and respond to disasters and other life-threatening emergencies. I'm sure you guys have, been aware of some of the larger disasters, and we're happy to say that a lot of our helpers are students that want to become involved and who, for example, in Joplin may have been impacted or know someone who was, and so we're able to train them and give them those resources so that they can impact those necessary. The Red Cross serves U.S. military members, veterans, and their families. With the military, we have an emergency contact person or department, and basically if you have a loved one over in Afghanistan, for example, right now, and you can't get in touch with them, we have this emergency contact center where you can contact them and we will send messages to them. So we work very closely with the military. We're also their backup system for their blood services, so whenever it's necessary and they need help, we're there. So I don't know if you guys remember, for example, Fort Hood, that shooting that happened, they needed those blood resources. So we were able to send 70 units down there in that life-threatening situation.
We average about 130 communications a year just in the 3.5 counties.
Right.
Just to the military.
Just for the family members and things like that. So the Red Cross serves 180 countries and has more than 100 million volunteers. So normally for those students who travel or whatnot, normally there is a Red Cross center in that area. The Red Cross empowers ordinary people to perform extraordinary acts. So even just by volunteering and things like that, people do have that sense of fulfillment. As far as Cherokee County goes, more of a local aspect, and Rhonda, of course, is here to answer any questions you all have about that. We responded to 27 local house fires, helped 42 families with more than $25,000 in financial assistance, trained more than 700 in CPR and other life-saving skills, and reached over 2,000 people with disaster preparedness education. So this county alone is very involved with the Red Cross. And do you all have any questions as far as this goes for Ryan and maybe what we do here locally with the house fires and disaster preparedness? Or if not, if you can think it over, we can talk about it towards the end as well. So the following slide is basically a map. The Red Cross supplies nearly half of the nation's blood supply. The Red Cross is the major supplier of blood in northeast Oklahoma. So what's awesome about us is we do have this system in place where if there's a disaster, for example, Haiti, what we were able to do is filter any blood products necessary for that disaster down to Florida to help those Haiti victims. So it's kind of a transport system in a way. We help those locally, but if for whatever reason there's a region that can't get the blood that they need due to disaster, then we do our best to help them because they're the ones that are impacted and need it in that emergency situation. The next slide is the student opportunities. We have a youth program, which is just really amazing. The Red Cross engages nearly 170,000 youth and youth adults with meaningful opportunities for service, education, and training. Kind of like what you all have here, some of these colleges that we have, they have Red Cross clubs. And they work in all of the different environments. And some of these are below that if you guys have questions later, you can ask us. We have a Storm the Dorm emergency preparedness program. And it's a way that enables people, because we do deal with those emergency programs, it enables everyone to come up with their own system. We have all of these resources online and things like that. Because if you just really think about all of these handicapped people, people with pets, there's so many people that can be impacted in those disasters, and it really gets you to thinking outside of the box and try to come up with an emergency game plan.
How does your emergency plan compare with Homeland Security CSERT program?
Normally can you?
We work in conjunction with Homeland Security and FEMA. It kind of that's a kind of a tricky question because it's pretty detailed, but we're the mass care part of things, and so that's our responsibility, is making sure people are sheltered and fed during a major disaster like Joplin or something like that. So, and then we team up with partner agencies like the Salvation Army, who do a lot of cooking for a lot of the responders, and then the Baptist men get together and they feed all the people that we're serving, all the shelter people, and anybody else that's not staying in the shelter at the time. For instance, a lot of times people may not need a place to stay, but they'll still need food and during those times. And so we'll make sure that we've got mobile feeding units that will drive around in the area and make sure that everybody's got water and food and things like that to make sure that they're all taken care of.
But the training program that you talk about in here, the Storm the Dorm,
Right.
how does that compare to Homeland Security CSERT? Right now, all of our student staff are CSERT certified through Homeland Security. So they are able to respond to disasters, things that happen on campus and in the community.
Triage and
I
like search
think
and
what
rescue and
this
stuff like
is
that.
more like resources for people who maybe don't have a program, and so it's just a starting point for people that don't have it, and it enables people to go on and create their own plan.
Storm the Dorm is a pretty new, it's brand new program, and so I don't know a lot about it, but we can put you in touch with some people that do know a lot more about it, that have actually presented.
Okay.
Give you more details.
And then also we have the American Red Cross National Youth Council, which on the following page is their website. And basically what they do is, a lot of the people at our national headquarters, they want to hear from our youth and they want to figure out what can we do better. How can we reach them in a more broad focus? And so they serve as advisors basically for our national headquarters. Also, they work on implementing youth programs. So, for example, like the Storm the Dorm and the Red Cross Campus Clubs, just ways to reach people. They serve as advisors. So, it's always here to, nice to hear from the youth. It's basically a council that you apply for, and they do a lot of their work over conference calls. So, it's really a great something to put on resumes too. Then, of course, the Red Cross Campus Clubs, which we discussed. Disaster volunteer training, CPR and babysitting certification, and blood services volunteers. So on the next page is the Red Cross Youth Resources. Here's the website, which has all of those different topics that we just talked about. And again, that council is kind of what helps us gear these programs more towards youth and get their feedback. So the Red Cross Youth Facebook page, Youth Wire, that council runs those programs. Also, a couple things that we've implemented that was a little different that I just wanted to touch on was we worked with several doctors. Of course, we have advisors, and we implemented a height and weight restriction. What we found, and it was normally females, when they donate and they're smaller, sometimes they will have reactions. So what we looked at is their height and weight. And this is it's not anything that I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But I just wanted to kind of talk about a couple things that we did differently to try to help them become better donors and become repeat donors. And if they have a bad reaction, a lot of times they won't continue to donate. So with this height and weight, it basically depends on your height and your weight. So what we found with this new implementation is we've reduced reactions by 50%. So, which is amazing. Now, of course, we don't get as many donors, but what we do get is those people to become repeat donors, hopefully lifelong donors. Also lately, which is not something that impacts colleges, but we were able